pledge allegiance. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Remain standing for a moment as we remember our fighting men and women and our first responders. Thank you. Nothing? Okay, thank you. Okay, we're in a nice cozy environment this evening. A little different than the courtroom. Okay. No one signed in for privilege of the floor this evening, so we're gonna move right to correspondence. Let me just check here, I don't think I have anything to note. Okay. So we'll move on to reports. So, Brian, wanna give us a lowdown on what's going on with the highway department?
Sure. Since the last meeting, obviously, we finished the site work for the splash pad project. So it's complete. We completed asphalt repairs at the community center parking lot. Spot repairs, obviously, we're not paving the whole lot, just in preparation of our oil and stone chip seal, late August or early September. I'm working on drainage work at the town hall right now in preparation for milling and paving this lot in August.
Okay.
And we completed all of our scheduled preventative maintenance chip seals on all our town roads, Colville, Euler, Gary Drive, Sweden Lane, Tracy Terrace,
Wow.
Lancet Way, Keystone Court, Tudor Road, OG Trail. All the streets within Sweden Village will finish the final step, which will be Thursday, which it gets fog sealed, so it's one last coat of oil to kind of keep everything bound together and keep the dust down.
I wonder how many miles that is. That's a lot.
100 miles, it's probably around 3 to 4 miles with all the roads.
I don't know if you know.
Yeah. We assisted with the Monroe County Hazardous Waste Collection held on June 15th, at the town of Ogden. And we've also been busy helping other towns with county road work. The town of Riga on Bovey Road. Another county project for the town of Parma, or in the town of Parma, on Bennett Road. A town job for the town of Ogden on Whittier Road. And we also assisted the village of Spencerport on some various paving on the roads in the village of Spencerport. And I think the last thing I had was I met with Jim Oberst today in regards to the Holly Street sidewalk.
Okay.
So we walked that whole site and tried to brainstorm the best route to run it on the south or the north side of the road.
Right.
So
Okay.
Come up with a couple options, and he's gonna take it back and
Draw it up.
draw it.
Can you report on the sewer pipe?
The sewer pipe, yeah, I talked to Harry Donahue earlier this week, and he was gonna meet with the mayor and get her, a cost estimate for the materials and kind of go over some things. And I think he said he wanted to try to schedule it for the first full week after the 4th of July. So that's the tentative date right now.
Gotcha, thank you.
Great. All right, anything else, Brian?
Nope.
Okay, how about from the town clerk's office?
Okay.
Nothing? Okay. Town, the finance director?
Brian and I met with Jim Oberst in tandem. My focus was on the easements we're gonna need and getting together a list, and then maybe inviting the people in to see the drawings so that you could explain why you would need an easement across their property.
Sure.
And it looks like maybe 3 trees is what we came up with
Yep.
this afternoon, that would potentially have to be removed from people's front yards, which doesn't seem like many for that whole stretch. 3.
Right,
North side,
north side.
Yeah.
we're gonna do
Two,
It'll be tight to the road too. It
hometown
won't be
energy,
set
there's
in.
enough room through there where the building's so close to the road.
Yeah.
2 nice trees that maybe we can skirt around, and one that's maybe not so nice, so maybe
Okay.
the people wouldn't mind.
How many easements do you think we need?
He's gonna go back and count
Every house
after
is
the walk, but we've got a tentative list of 7 to 12 properties, depending on where it takes it, yeah. And then the second thing is budget sheets go out to department heads on Thursday.
Great,
They're input sheets that they get.
back to that season. Hard to believe. Okay, thank you, Lisa. Bob?
Well, it's over. The splash pad's open. Playground's, I've been up and down a few times, even some chilly nights, I can't believe the little kids are out there. I mean, I got the heater on in the car, and they're on the,
They don't feel it.
both the, when I talked to Todd and Roger the other day, we're getting a lot of rentals on the lodge, as well as, I didn't know they rent the pavilion over on the old part. And there seems every time I come in, there's people setting up for picnics under there, right, by the smaller. They got all the mulch and everything finished in there. They've been working, you know, they finally got it caught up with their mowing. And they're just, it seems like when they just get into a project, someone says, can you fix this, doing these center stuff, but that's, they live with it. They're still doing work on some ball fields that, when they get a lot of play, it's, you just can't have the games come out, they gotta go up there and, you know, screen it around and everything, but, they had to repair the dog, park fence in the back. And that's because of, there again, when it was put in, heaving from the frost, and, they've got that taken care of, and they just also, did a cleaning in the, pond over there for the dogs, just gonna be filling it now, but, the people are happy because they can still take their dogs up there even though they couldn't swim for a couple of days. Roger went up and helped plant some flowers up the community center too, to make it look pretty. And it's amazing what they do. And Lisa passed on to me that for the splash pad and the playground, there's no increase in our insurance.
Oh, wow.
That's wonderful.
Great.
You know, and there's gonna be Band-Aids and kids getting scratched and everything, but, you know, overall, I think our park is growing at leaps and bounds, and there's activity everywhere, and can't say enough for the improvements that we've made as a town getting it. That's all I got.
I can't think of the woman's name that did the garden in front
Okay.
of the community
Mary
center.
Daly.
Yeah.
Is she still doing it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's been in
It's
for
planted,
quite
I
a
just didn't
while.
know if she did it or
Yeah, she did.
if Ted and Roger did it. That's great.
Yeah, she does a nice job.
She does.
Lori?
Well, I did more community things than town things. I went to the splash pad opening, and I have to say that I've been to a lot of openings, and it's one of the very best I've ever attended. The crowd, well, the splash pad, the appreciation, I thought it was a phenomenal event, and I think it really is. I've been to many, town and non-town, but it was just, it was almost like, it was a huge celebration, I thought. And then on June 11th, I went to the SSAI meeting, and they're moving right along, talking about having picnics again, and going to the lodge and whatever, and electing officers, stuff like that. I also supported a local artist group at the library, the Brockport Artists Guild. I went over to Northampton for the driving competition, and we went out to the Hamlin Firemen's Parade, and I am trying to work with the head of Northampton and Grease Parks on the riding arena over there. They put it in for the county fair. They have a beautiful, gigantic riding arena, and they put in enough footing for about 5 arenas, and horses can't use it because it wrecks their tendons, it's so deep. And so they've gotta get some of that out of there in order for it to be used. Now, it's been there for years and nobody uses it, and it's a perfect facility. So I'm working on that. I did talk to the court today to see if they had any questions and concerns, and they're fine, they had nothing. I did talk to Kathy Beaumont today. When are we supposed to have our reviews in on performance? We talked about that some time ago, it seems like it's coming up. I wanna
Yeah.
make sure I.
Next week, next Tuesday. We gotta have them done by next Tuesday.
Okay. gotta remember that.
So that's a reminder I was gonna give in my report. Next Tuesday's meeting, we will have a workshop, but it will be all in executive session to do employee reviews.
Okay.
So don't come down, because you'll be sorely disappointed.
And then, Kathy Beaumont, there's some interesting stuff that goes on with dog control, there really is. They've had a dog there that Ogden is paying to board there for months and months and months. And it's a court case. And, ironically, what's happening is the attorney that is going to court for this dog, he wants to adopt it now. So I'm hoping that this attorney will do that. And Ogden has, they've been paying to have the dog there, and they just brought another dog there that's a bad situation. But this is what she said. A sheriff was driving through the park, and some activities were going on at the dog park because people are letting people in with their numbers. Somebody was still in there, and they didn't remember the number, and they were stuck in the dog park. And they called. They had to call. They called Todd. He didn't get there. Kathy Beaumont and the sheriff were there. And I guess this is going to happen, but I didn't realize that you have to do that to get out too. So here is this person and their dog locked in the dog park. So I think that's the story of the week. And I don't know if this is the time, but Patty Coots gave me something to read that I have not presented before, and she couldn't come tonight. Should I do it now? It's about the library.
That's fine, sure.
Okay, she said, I can't attend tonight's meeting. Here's my comment. Feel free to read into the minutes. I've read the Bonadio report twice. It seems clear to me that the library is doing an outstanding, even amazing job with the resources it has, but it struggles to keep up. I urge Sweden to take the lead to give Seymour the resources it needs, either through more funding or changing its obligation to maintain the building using its current budget. I believe this is also the recommendation of the consultants. I don't support using any further data to evaluate the success of the library, certainly not BCSD, Brockport Central School District, reading scores or particulars of circulation. The library is a busy place used in many ways and much appreciated by the community as a vital part of our complex of recreation education facilities. Thank you, Patty and Archie Coots. Do you want this, Karen?
Sure, I can take notes from it.
Oh, okay, and that's the end for me.
Okay, Mary?
I attended the library meeting last Wednesday. On July 9th at 5:45, the Seymour Library will receive the Monroe County Legislature's proclamation for the Library of the Year Award. So it'll be held downtown. The library received a $2,000 donation from the Killian J. and Caroline Schmidt Foundation. This foundation provides support for nonprofits, and the donation does not fund operating expenses. It does help fund capital projects. The Monroe County Library System and Rochester Public Library will be offering a free service called Hoopla Streaming. And with your library card, we'll be able to stream books and movies. It hasn't started yet, but the date will be announced as soon as they hear it. The sewer line issue, there's a break or hole in the pipe outside of the building. They've had it back up twice. Had to close the library twice, so we're hoping to get that resolved soon. They also are having issues with water on the east side of the building. The outside spigot, when they turn it on, no water comes out. The Friends of the Library raised $1,290 from the fabric sale earlier this month. The date of the after hours fundraiser, which is typically held in November, is going to be changed. They haven't decided what date to change it to. It happens that the college is having a huge fundraiser the same night that usually after hours has theirs. So we're looking at maybe October or May. By mid-August, the study room should be completed. there's a need for new shades in the Duryea room, and maybe they'll be able to use that $2,000 donation from the Schmidt Foundation to pay for that. The library is beginning a strategic plan. They'll be working with a consultant. The goal is not only to have a long-range plan, but to increase accountability. Currently, the history room has a Clarkson display in honor of their bicentennial. Lori mentioned the Artists Guild. It's in the Duryea room. You should stop in. The art in there is amazing. This is just a wonderful exhibition. And mark your calendars for July 15th from 6 to 8 p.m. There will be a birthday party for William Seymour. He will turn 183 years old.
Can you come?
Yeah, will you be there?
He'll be there. So that's it.
Very good. All
Oh,
right.
my.
On June 5th, I had lunch with the mayor and with Supervisor Filipowicz from Clarkson, and we discussed, as I think as the board knows now, the initial round of response from the boards to the library report. On the 5th, I also met with Robbie Rademacher, who's actually here this evening. He's a frequent user of the skate park, and so we discussed some issues there, and he has some thoughts and ideas, so I'm working on connecting he and Todd and Roger, and hopefully there'll be more for the board to consider in the weeks, months to come. I had the debrief on the TAP CMAC grant, the failure to get that grant. It was a call with the folks from Albany who make those decisions, and then with the mayor, Gene O'Connell, and then Lisa and I were on it. I think some additional people from the village were there too, I can't remember who, but they noted two significant deficiencies in the grant application. The one was the failure to pre-plan